Answers to the Part 1 CBA Review Fall 2008. The absolute parent function graph looks like this. The absolute value is V-shaped. The domain, the vertex is 0, 0. The axis of symmetry is x equals 0. The domain is all real numbers. It can be written either of these two ways. The range is 0 to positive infinity equal to 0. The next question is a little bit confusing. It asks you to find the value of g of x. If this is the combined function, in order to find g of x, you have to subtract. That would mean the f's would cancel out. So you have to take this combined function and subtract this function. To subtract, you need to subtract 2x to the third minus 10x squared plus 14x minus 12. You need to subtract all of that. In order to subtract so that you don't make a sign mistake, subtracting is the same as adding the opposite sign. And so change all the signs and add up the columns. 2x to the third plus 13x squared minus 16x plus 18. That is what g of x is equal to. The same problem the next problem has the same format. Take the combined function and subtract f of x and you will have g of x left. And so in order to subtract, add the opposite. This will help you avoid a sign mistake. And so this would be equal to 1x to the third plus 9x squared minus 6x plus 16. Take the combined function and subtract f of x in order to subtract, add the opposite. This will help you avoid a sign mistake. So g of x is going to equal 2x to the third when we have our absolute value graph shifted to the left, that means I'm going to add 4 to the x because left is in the x direction. And I'm going to add instead of subtract because we remember x is still a liar. And so this will be y equals negative x plus 4 plus 3. That will be the new equation. Sometimes we use g of x to represent the transformed equation. If we're going to the right, I'm going to subtract 2 from the x, and down means I'm going to minus 3 at the end. X is a liar, y is not. So this is going to subtract 2 and add 3 at the end. Y, or sometimes we call the new function g of x, x plus 2, positive 4 subtract 2, plus 3 at the end. Problem number 7 is the same type of problem. If we're going to go right 12, we're going to subtract 12 from the x, down minus 3 at the end. So this is going to be y equals 1/4 x minus 12. Instead of plus 12, it's minus 12 because x is a liar. This is a plus 2 that's already there. This is a minus 3. Because this parentheses is not squared or anything, we're going to go ahead and distribute. So that would mean y equals 1/4 x. 1/4 of 12 would be a 3 plus 2 minus 3. And so then we're going to combine like terms. For our final answer is going to be 1/4 x. And so when you combine all of those like terms, that would be a minus 6. Same concept, just a linear equation instead of an absolute value equation. In order to simplify this, I need to start with a box problem. This is going to be x squared plus 2x minus 1. This is going to cancel. This will be x squared minus 4 times x squared plus 4. And so now I need a second box problem. X squared plus 4 these will cancel out, so this will be x to the 4th minus 16. This is not a box problem, this is a subtraction problem. 9 plus 8i minus 3i squared, minus a minus makes this a plus I. But you never leave an I squared in a problem. This would be 9 plus 8i minus 3 times negative 1 plus I. So then you combine like terms. Negative 3 times a positive 1 would make this a positive 3. 3 plus 9 is 12. 8i plus 1 more I would be 9i. This is a multiplication problem. You can do this with FOIL or a box problem. X squared 7x minus 8x minus 56. Combine like terms. X squared minus x minus 56. This will be a box problem. 4 2i, 4 2i, 4 times 4 is 16, 8i, 2 times 2 is 4i squared, 16 plus 16i plus 4 times negative 1, because I squared is equal to negative 1. Combine like terms, that will give you 12 plus 16i. This is not a box problem, this is an adding problem. You simply combine like terms. When you combine 2i and minus I, that cancels out, and so the answer is simply 9. This does not have an adding or subtracting sign in between, so it is a box problem. 15, 21i minus 20i minus 28i squared. And so when you combine like terms, this will be 15 minus, plus I minus 28, and I squared is equal to negative 1. That would make this a positive 28 plus 15. This is not a box problem. This is a subtraction problem. Minus 6. And I squared is equal to negative 1. Minus a minus. Make this plus 9i. Combine like terms. This one will be a box problem. These terms cancel out, so you have 4 minus 9 times negative 1, and so that will give you a final answer of 13.